This is question 3 of the test. I already filled in the table for us, and all you had to do was to fill in the table is you had to take that first rate they gave you, 5 peppers for $2.25, find the unit rate, and then just build from there. You could use proportions to figure out all of these answers. So the first question, how many peppers could you buy for $20? Well, if we look at our cost, $20 is not on our table, but it's between 9 and 45. So we know our answer should be just between 20 and 100 peppers. So let's set a proportion, and let's use our unit rate. So 1 pepper costs 45 cents, and we can set that equal to number of peppers, which we don't know yet, over our cost, $20. Now what we do is multiply the partners and divide by the loaner. So 20 times 1 is 20, and 20 divided by 45 cents turns out to be 44 and a lot of repeating 4s. Now realistically, if you were to go to a market and you said, how many peppers can I buy for $20? They wouldn't say you could buy 44 and then some, or they wouldn't give you an extra pepper for free and make it 45. They would just say you can only afford those total 44 peppers. So it's 44 peppers for $20. And if we look at our estimation, 44 is between 20 and 100. So we have a pretty good idea that we got the right answer. Describe what the graph of this data will look like and name a point on the graph. Well, we see that the number of peppers is increasing, and so is the cost. So we can say something like the graph is increasing. And we can also say for the point on the graph, well, these are all points on the graph. So one point on the graph could be 1 and 45 hundredths, and 2 and 90 cents. These are all points on the graph. To write an equation that relates the number of peppers N and the cost C, so when we know in an equation we need an equal sign, and we need our variables on each side of the equal sign. So let's actually use the values. Let's say for our unit rate, the cost was 45 cents. So we'll put that in for C. And 45 cents is how much it costs for 1 pepper. Now, if we look at this, we obviously know 45 hundredths is not equal to 1. So we have to do something or multiply something to 1 to get 45 hundredths. Well, 45 hundredths times 1 gives us 45 hundredths. And we could turn those values back into variables. The 45 hundredths, or the 45 cents, was our cost, and 1 was our number of peppers, N. Now, whenever you get your equation, it's always a good idea to check that you have the right equation. So we could plug a number in there. So let's say we want to find how much it costs for 10 peppers. Well, 10 times 45 hundredths is equal to $4.50. And if we look up here, 10 peppers cost $4.50. So that's a good sign that we have the right equation. Now, what is the constant proportionality, and how do you know? Well, in an equation, the constant proportionality is the number multiplied to the variable, or matched up against the variable. So it's going to be 45 hundredths. Well, how do you know? Well, we can explain that in an equation, the number matched up to the variable is your constant proportionality. Or you can also say, sorry, a little sick. Your constant proportionality in your table is the amount you're constantly increasing by. And if you see as we increase by 1 pepper each time, we're increasing by 45 cents each time. The difference between each of these values is 45 cents. So you can say in the table, as the peppers increase by 1, the cost constantly increases by 45 hundredths. And that'd be a good way to show how do you know what the constant of proportionality is.